And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, week number 66. I'm, of course, as IVFE. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all. I apologize for the delayed start, but we have begun. We have our players, !B, in the chat. If you guys don't have a look back yourselves, the bracket is stacked, the bracket is live, and we are ready to jump in. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the blue Protoss player. What? We have the blue Protoss from the land of Germany, representing Streamer Zone. It is Jumi. It's spawning in the top left hand corner. We have the Taiwanese Protoss player. We have the yellow Protoss. It is Lemon. God. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is a Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. We can dive into the bracket itself after this match, after this series. There's a lot to get into. Don't you worry. A lot of high quality players are going to be taking part. Let's go. Just quickly setting up the title on YouTube. Hold on. SHIN, Rogue, and more. Beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful. Let's go. As for the time being, we're going to be settling in, and we do have our initial openers. It is going to be an initial double gate opener out of Jumi. Meanwhile, Lemon going for the gate expand. Ooh, gate expand before Cybercore. Lemon, calm down, puppy. Also, shout out to Jumi, shout out to all the European competitors here tonight, because it is 4 a.m. It is 4 a.m. in the morning in the land of Europa, and Jumi, he is here, he is ready to go, he's gaming, papi. He went full D. God damn it, Jumi. Not just Jumi, but Shameless and some of the other competitors here today as well. Just, you know what? The passion is real. The passion is there to compete and to take part and to embrace the KSL as such an awful time. Yeah. Here's the middle of the day. Here in the land of Oz, it is what, 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Of course, this is our first broadcast of the day, and later on, I'm gonna be getting, after this broadcast, I'm gonna go to bed, gonna get some sleep, and I'm gonna get ready for another broadcast here in the evening. Get ready for the Masters Coliseum. Initially, though, it's gonna be again the gate expanded and Cybercore into 2-gate follow-up. Very greedy build here out of Lemon, and Jumi, he has to respond with the all-in. And there it is, one base all-in out of Jumi. Back at home, going into the Twilight Council, 2-gate opener into a 3rd gateway, maybe a 4th gateway, into a 1-base all-in. Show us those blinks. Oh, never mind. I assumed it was going to be Blink, but no, it's going to be Glaveadeps instead. Let's go. Regardless, aggression is upon us. Send it, baby, send it. And again, a big reason why Jumi is going for the 1-base all-in is because of how many corners Lemon has cut. Lemon, he has cut so many corners. The opener he has gone for should be illegal. DTs, he's okay. Glaveadeps into Dark Templar. I was curious where the extra gas was going to be spent on, just because this could facilitate Blink and Stalkers instead. But no, Glaves plus Dark Templar. Going for the second. Huh. Okay. I mean, he saw the hallucination, right? He saw hallucination. Hallucination gets a full scout of the main base, does confirm the research, but alas, the Dark Shrine was cancelled and rebuilt here at the proxy location. Now, this will delay DTs, but it does mean that, for now at least, it is unscouted. For now, unscouted, so a very big gamble here for Jumi. Insane gamble here. We'll see if it does pay off. Again, welcome to 4 a.m. gaming. he's an animal, Bob. He's an animal. Not like this. As an episode, do continue to threaten shades. They threaten shades here towards the expansions. Behind this, no robo, no immortal production, no nothing. Just purely a gateway army. There are some sentries or force fields at least. A lot of force fields, actually. So going up this ramp with DTs might be a little bit difficult, just because there are so many force fields available if they get spotted. Speaking of an devastation, oh, they do get into the main base. Alas, there was no full wall. 3 depths into the main. We get more depths here towards the natural, and DT should soon be warped in a couple of seconds. Adepts are being locked down. Probes are falling, though. Yeah, 11 probe kills so far. Adepts are being cleaned up, and show us an Dark Templar. Ideally, this would have been a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, the Dark Shrine was delayed, as we did notice, but alas, it was still waddle in, and the game should end. there is no answer. There is no answer to this. The game should just end as the DTs, they wreak havoc. Yep, they're going for the middle lanes. GG gets called. There is 0 detection available, and Jimmy takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Oh my god. Hold on, I need to message Jimmy and call him an animal. GG, well played. Again, 0 detection. There was no Forge, no Stargate, no Robo either. 0 forms of detection there. A little bit surprised that Lemon did not open up defensively with a Robo, but again, because of how many corners he was cutting, because of how greedy he was, there was no Robo behind this. He was relying quite heavily on purely Stalker Sentry to defend, to survive. If it was anything but DTs, Lemon would have been fine, but it was a DT, right? It was a Dark Shrine. There were Dark Templar with that. Jimmy takes game 1. Oh god. Aye. Here we go. Green screen is uneven. It is. As we are getting into game number 2. It looks like it's going to be on Amygdala. Okay. Another one of these larger maps. Another larger map here. Oh, he's switching. Let's go. Lemon. He's switching races. Oh, let's go, Bobby. Let's go. Okay, so again, Lemon, he is a GM in all three races. For those who do not know, he is a GM, and he has competed at the pro level as Zerg, Terran, and Protoss, and he is switching from Protoss to Zerg. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the German Protoss player. We have the blue... Oh, he doesn't know. He doesn't... We have the blue Protoss from Germany representing Streamer Zone. It is Jimmy. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the yellow Zerg player. Was once Protoss, now Zerg from the land of Taiwan. It is Lemon. Oh... ZVP easy, Bob, easy. Let's go. And again, Lemon, he is at this level of play with his Zerg. I do think he can be quite competitive with Jimmy, and hopefully Jimmy isn't overconfident. Hopefully he doesn't think like, oh, you know, Lemon, he's clowning Bob. You know, he's playing Zerg and he doesn't know what to do. He's gonna 12 fool me or something. So we'll see. We'll see how Jimmy does respond. We'll see how he does approach his opponent for the first time. Let's go. Let us go. For now, Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener here out of Lemon. At least it looks to be the case. Looks to be the case here. Yep, there we go. Hatch Gas Pool. Likewise, Jimmy back at home, going for his own gate expand into Cybercore. From here, we can just settle in. We can just settle into our games. Welcome one and all to Amygdala. Amygdala is a bit of a larger map in the map pool. I mean, kind of. There's a bit of a give and take here, of course. When the center of the map gets opened up, then, of course, it becomes much of a smaller map. Rush distance by ground becomes shorter, and you can be more assertive and more aggressive. Until then, though, this map can be very defendable here, as it can be quite awkward rotating from back and forth between the northern and southern bases. Can be quite awkward applying pressure and really punishing the economy of your opponents. Can be difficult. So we'll see how our players do settle in. For now, standard openers. Interesting location with the pylon, might I add. I mean, Jimmy, he is a very dynamic and very crazy. He's crazy, man. He's crazy. Is a crazy player. And based on that pylon placement, we might be seeing a hidden Robo or a Twilight Council. This does not look like a Stargate. Does not look like a Stargate opener here by Jimmy. Why else would you hide your pylon behind the natural of all places? Lemon, he does skirt in for a moment. Ooh, and the probe does move back. And there it is. There's a Twilight Council. Now, just because we know it's a Twilight Council opener doesn't really tell us everything. This could be Glaive Adepts, this could be DTs, this could be a combination of both, actually. We could see the 1-2 punch, similar to what we saw last game with Glaive Adepts plus Dark Templar as well. We'll see which it's going to be. For now, 3 and 3. So far, we have 6 workers mining gas. This leads us to believe that it should be something more tech-heavy, like a Dark Shrine. If we pull out a gas, then 4 get Glaive Adepts. But we'll see. For now, we're staying in. The Twilight Council is finishing up, and show us what you got. I imagine we're going to be seeing a Dark Shrine. There's the Robo. And we should be seeing our next tech of choice. Oh, the Lings! Oh, as Lings, they slip in. They get a scout of the Robo. Very nicely done. The Lings, they will not get eyes on the Dark Shrine, though, as again, it's thrown down here behind the Natural. But regardless, seeing the Robo is a tell. So Lemon, he's aware that something is wrong, something is amiss. We have Lings amassing as we speak. These things are really early, though. Oh, okay, so really early Ling production at 11. If he was going for a standard response, he could just drone. He could just drone from here, he could saturate his bases. All these Lings tell us he wants to be the aggressor instead. I'm not so sure how I feel about that, though. I mean, thankfully, there's no shield battery, right? There's no shield battery, and Jimmy has no scouting. He has no scouting. He doesn't know that Lemon is going for a Ling flood here and now. Now he's going for the Roach Warren, but again, Lemon's droning is just very delayed. I'm not too convinced by all these Lings. They can poke in, yes, but I don't really see them doing too much more. As they poke at the front door, we have 3 units here, 2 Adepts. We have the Stalker as well. And the Lings, they shouldn't really do much. I mean, I say that, they get on top of the Stalker. Where's the re-wall? Uh-oh. The Stalker is going to be going down behind this. We're trying to wall off, just barely. Not a bad pickoff on the Stalker. Meanwhile, Dark Shrine is done. DT should soon be across the map. Back at home, we have Spores on the way. We have a Spore outside of the Natural Spore. The third, the main base, is exposed. But the Spore should finish in time. I say that. The Spores are a little bit too late. Oh, they need a couple more seconds here. Lemon, he does surround the Spore, does protect it. DTs, they can still trade against the Lings. But last, yeah, there we go. Archon forced to morph in, forced to recall as well. Archon does survive, and so far, good defense by Lemon. He defends well, the Adepts, they overextend. They're going to be going down as well. And Lemon behind this, he has been droning. He droned up to 2 base saturation, he's now massing Lings, massing Roaches, and this opener from Jumi has not been worth it. He has not gotten anywhere near enough damage. And he's looking for more. He's looking for more. DT's a try to collapse on the Queen, alas I won't be able to. As we said, a big shout out to Express Karma in the chat. Baby God, thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. And welcome one and all to the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League. This is the final KSL of the year. The final Korean StarCraft League of 2024. So hope you've all had a great year. Hope you've all had some happy holidays as well. And welcome and enjoy a weekend full of StarCraft. As Lings, they hit that third base. The warp in is not in time. And the third base, it's going to go down. Or at least it should go down. Yeah, it did complete, so there's no cancellation. DT and Zealous are doing what they can. It's actually it's going to be close. Up. Oh my god, it does go down. That's going to be a kill here on the Nexus. That's 400 minerals down the drain. Meanwhile, an Archon falls as well, and Jumi's just falling apart. He's just falling apart at this point, losing far too much. The base, the depths, the Archon as well. And Lemon, he's looking good. He is looking solid here. Droning up a little bit further. Has more efficient saturation, getting 18 more drones as well, taking up into, of course, his lair, roach speed, +1 range. Oh, and Jumi, how do we bounce back? The gold base. Okay, let's go. The gold is on the way. As the rocks are knocked down, Jumi can now expand. At least he can try to. Because again, Lemon's economy is looking solid. I mean, momentarily, Lemon can just start focusing on purely Ling, Roach, Ravager production, move out across the map and knock down the gold. Right now, Jumi, he's in a lot of trouble. He's in a lot of trouble here. He needs to apply some pressure. You can see him moving out. And we'll see how well he can trade against the army of Lemon. We just got done with Fight Night Friday. Oh, let's go. Nice to hear. Good to hear. Oh, as Biles, they do graze the army. Force fields are knocked down. Upon seeing the army, Jumi is getting the hell out of here. Cannot engage. Has to retreat. 10 more roaches on the way. Lemon, he's just rallying. Yeah, at this point, he's just rallying across the map. He knows momentum is on his side. Takes down the sentry. Oh, that is going to be 4 immortals, though. Nice force fields. The Biles. Oh, they don't quite connect. Roach is going down. A very nice initial engage here by Jumi, but he may have to pull the boys. So far, he's holding his own. And And he does have a decent amount of energy for some extra force fields. You see him just try to bide his time. Wiles, they connect with the sentry. Lemon's still pushing in. Ravager's getting focused down. Very nice force fields once again catching out. Oh, just one Ravager. Almost another. I would love to see a shield battery here on the high ground. I'll be honest, I would I would appreciate that. As Biles, they Duke once again connect. Sentries are finally going to be going down. And Lemon, he does dive in. Stutter steps forward on top of the Immortals. The Immortals, they're good against Roaches, but they need support. They need some kind of buffer here. The juggling so far, though. Juggling is nice. The control. Oh my god. The control is there. The Ravagers go down. Only Roaches remain. But alas, we're still just rallying forward. Once again, nice juggling here. Oh, saving the Immortals. One Immortal goes down. One Immortal. Second Immortal goes down as well. And this is getting out of hand. This is now getting out of hand here. What was once 5 Immortals, now down to 2. Oh my god, now down to 1. And GG gets called. It was almost an impressive defense. I mean, regardless, it was impressive what Jumi was able to pull off, but still barely not enough. And with that, Lemon ties up the series. Whew. GG. Lemon ties it up 1-1. We are going to the ace match. And again, a lot of this did come down to, I mean, it was multiple things. Of course, the opener itself fell on its face. The DT opener didn't really do any damage. The depths were caught out. The Archon didn't do any damage either. The Archon was sniped, if you remember. And of course, the big moment as well, outside of just the initial opener falling on its face, was the denial of the third. The third base being killed, going down to the Link Flood. Was also a brutal moment here where Jimmy was forced to be desperate, forced to take the goal base as well. And alas, was overwhelmed in the end. And with that, GG. GG well played. With that, we're now getting into game number 3, the ace match. It all ends here. It all ends on Frostline. Let's go. Let us go in. Oh, it looks like we are switching back to Protoss. Okay, so Lemon, he had his fun on Amygdala, and now we're going to be embracing a PvP here on Frostline. Interesting choice. I'm curious as to why he chose Protoss on Frostline. I feel like we've seen a lot of Zerg players embrace this map in ZVP, just because of how difficult it is for a Protoss player to defend the third and defend the fourth as well. So I'm a little bit surprised that we're seeing another Protoss versus Protoss, but I mean, we'll see what the plan is going to be. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of Frostline, we have the German Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Streamer Zone. It is Jumi. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, and we have his opponents. We have the Taiwanese Protoss player, the yellow Protoss, tying up the series with his Zerg. Now switching back to Protoss, it is Lemon. Here we go. Okay, back to the PvP. And I'm curious, I mean, we are on a larger map. Is Lemon intending to go for something, once again, more economic, more greedy? Is he wanting to go for another faster expansion or something different? My eyes are on this probe. My eyes are on any potential proxy. We'll see. As Lemon does move out. Is spotted by the scouting probe of Jumi. But again, this was an earlier move out by Lemon and just an earlier scout. Trying to make sure that everything is on the up and up. It is going to be the initial 2-gate opener by Jumi. One gateway here at the ramp, the other further back. So 2-gate opener out of Jumi. Lemon should be doing no. He's going once again the expand. He's crazy. So once again, Lemon cutting corners, gate into Nexus before the Cybercore, before the tech as well. If you remember, this is the same opener he went for on Abyssal Reef, and this is the opener that got him killed, as Jumi did go for a 1-base all-in to punish the greed of Lemon. Now, I'm not too fond. Yeah, we're going for the we're going for the proxy in the natural. This is a bold move. I don't know if I'm too fond of this, but bold move out of Jumi. Now, what I was going to say here is that I don't like this too much at Lemon, because first things first, on Abyssal Reef, the reason why you can get away with a greedy build is because 1, rush distance by ground on Abyssal is longer than that on Frostline. 2, Abyssal has a ramp coming into the natural. Here, there is no ramp. You don't have that that choke point, that point of elevation. You don't have the arc or the concave in your favor like you do on Abyssal Reef. So this is a very risky maneuver here by Lemon, and we're going for the proxy robo right in his face, in his natural. Let's go. This is one of the features of Frostsign, is that there is this little alcove here in your own natural base that can be used for proxies. We've seen proxy gates, proxy robots, proxy stargates. We've seen proxy 2 racks here as well, which is disgusting. But you can fit a proxy here. Nexus does finish, and he sees. Now he does see. Now he does notice, but it might just be too late as the robo is just about to finish. Robo's about to complete. Adepts are moving out to help support the army, to help support the proxy. Pylon's under fire. Second pylon gets thrown down. So we have 2 pylons to keep this power to finish up that immortal. 2 gates on the way, so it's going to be 3 gates set up here in total for Lemon. For now, only sentries to actually defend, which means sentries are quite vulnerable here. Yeah, they're going to be targeted down. Thankfully, there is a shield battery. Despite that, the sentries are going to be forced back. The probe! He's popping up! Oh my god, I spoke too soon. 1 probe goes down, the pylon should fall, but last the immortal is going to pop out as well. I mean, the shield battery is helping. Nice control to Lemon. Does defend. Does clean this up. Immortal has arrived, takes down one of the sentries. Now going for the Stalker. Warping in 3 units at a time though. There's the energy overcharge. And with the help of the overcharge, it looks like the Immortal should be overwhelmed. And the power of the shield battery, baby. Yeah, the Immortal's going to go down, and with that Lemon, he should clean this up. Takes down the Immortal, takes down the Sentry, the Stalker, a second shield battery just now finishing up as well. 2 shield batteries. I believe this Immortal may pop out in time. It's going to be close. It's going to be very close. As the Immortal, it's still a couple of seconds away. No, it's close. No, it doesn't finish. Just barely not in time. And with that Lemon, he shuts down the proxy. He's moving out across the map. He has a base. He has a massive worker lead. Jumi is supply blocked. And what can Jumi do from here? I don't know what the answer is going to be, because the adepts are being shut down. There's 1 adept left. Jumi, it looks like he's going towards a Dark Shrine. That's a Twilight Council, into a Proxy Pylon, into DTs. This time, Lemon has a Robo. This time, Lemon has detection, so DTs will not just end the game. There is potential, of course. Basically, this is the only way that Jumi can win this game, is to gamble. His hope here is, you know what? If he doesn't have a Robo, if he once again doesn't have detection, maybe I can I can get like a cheeky win here and squeeze one out. But it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Not this time, you know. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, always fool me. As we as we do have the Robo finishing up. Observer's halfway done, and we're gonna have plenty of detection. Plenty of detection, plenty of eyes on any kind of hidden units. We see Jumi trying to expand. A very late expansion. Here comes our Proxy Pylon to reinforce across the map. But alas, as long as the Observer stays home, then Lemon should be fine. And the Observer is staying home, so Lemon should be fine. Oh no, as the, the hallucination does get eyes on the proxy. Gateway is depowered. Dark Shrine still just finishing up. And Jumi's just trying to find another location for another pylon, for another warp in. Blink is on the way. And here come those Dark Templar. But by this point again, like their time has come and gone. Or at least it should have come and gone. CTs are waddling in. Let's go. They have the nice, they have the skin where they've got the double-bladed lightsabers. They've gone full Darth Maul. Let's go. As they do move out, we have a 3rd Dark Temple warping in as well. They're on a mission. And the Observer moves out, so they can strike the bases here. They have potential. Jumi going for the ninja base. Yo, Jumi, he is like the most Protoss I've seen in a while, you know? Like, it's... he knows, Pap. He uses all the tools available. It's crazy. Here we go, DTs, they split up. They head towards the Mineral Lines. We do have a full wall here on the high ground. And Lemon, he commits. He does commit across the map. Nice force fields here, but the shield battery's not ready. Yeah, there's no shield battery. There's no support. The Stalkers are going down one after the other. Back across the map, some damage was done. 7 probes went down. But it's still not enough. So Prism survives. Oh, Jimmy, he wants the prison. He wants anything, but GG gets called, and Lemon, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Lemon does take it. Congratulations. My condolences to Jimmy, but a shout out to Jimmy as well, because that he made for an entertaining series for sure. Did make for an entertaining one. I do think there was potential, I mean, in both game 2 and game 3, but unfortunately here in the ace match he got scattered. His proxy, I mean, got scattered, so the robot was not long for this world. He was forced to commit into a fight in just a really precarious situation. Was cornered. Last he got shut down, and with that, GG. GG, well played. Lemon does take it, and with that, Lemon does advance on, and we're going to be heading over here to the Korean server to follow him into the next round. Also, GG, get some sleep, back. Just leaving Jimmy a message to get some goddamn sleep. Get some rest, Pappy, get some rest. GG, well played. Lemon, he will advance on, and the question becomes, who will he face off against in that next round? Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look back at yourselves. The bracket is live, the bracket is ready, and let's get those updates. Here we go. Oh, that's, hold on. There we are. The entirety of the first round wrapping up. Let's go. We have Lemon. Lemon, he advances on into the quarterfinals where he has his next opponent, and that is our next series. Up next on the channel is going to be Dark versus Lemon in a ZVP. I'm assuming, I mean, Lemon can always race switch. True, he could always switch races, but should be a ZVP here between Dark and Lemon. Scrolling down, we have Rogue. Rogue gets a walkover in the first round. A Classic takes down Rebellion 2-0. We have a PvZ between Classic and Rogue. Another juicy matchup, not gonna lie. That could go either way, 100%. Scrolling down, we have herO. herO does advance on to face off against Trigger, as Trigger got a walkover. I was very tempted to wait for Trigger's first round match, but clearly that wouldn't really have borne any fruit. Shameless, unfortunately, was unavailable, did go to bed, did pass out, and Trigger does advance on in his stead. And Trigger is up against herO. Once again, we've seen Trigger and herO face off many times over the past couple of weeks, and Trigger has been getting the better of herO over the past 2 weeks. It's been impressive to see Trigger's PvP. We were praising him. We have been praising Trigger's PvP over the past, I mean, again, for quite some time at this point, as he's been taking down herO, consistently taking down players like Classic, Trap, Creator. Very impressive stuff here out of Trigger, so best of luck in that PvP. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have SHIN. SHIN takes down Nirko, Zaun takes down UED Soldier, and now we have SHIN versus Zaun in a Zerg versus Protoss matchup. Here we go. Almost purely ZVPs and a PvP as well. If you're curious, yo, Pappy, where are the Terrans? Terrans, it's too early. It's too early. Right now in South Korea, it is midday. It's midday on a Saturday. It's too early, Pappy. Okay, the Korean Terrans, they're all in bed. Unironically, this is something that we have spoken to Bjorn about, spoken to Kira about, spoken to Gumiho, and unironically, it is too early for them. A lot of the Korean Terran players, they sleep in on the weekend. These players do not, so shout out to, you know, the Korean Protosses and Zergs. They typically do not sleep in, but the Korean Terrans do, so it is a little bit too early in the day for them. They typically play in events later on in the day, you know, in the afternoon, in the evening, or even dead at night as well. It is known. It is known. So if you're curious, if you're like, yo, where's Bjorn, where's Kira, where's Gumiho, where's Oliveira? They're all sleeping. they're tucked away in bed. They're having they're sleeping about TVTs. I'm sure. Just slipping into those ZMs though, and making sure we don't get left behind. As I message those players. Here we go. Beautiful. And as the videos get underway, we will soon get ready for our next round. Just catching up in the chat. Just catching up. What does 99 mean? GG. It stands for good game. It's like a nice way of you know, saying of conceding, I should say. It's a more formal way of conceding, typically in a lot of games. That has since been adopted, I guess, in most esports, right? Like in general, has very much so become the norm, whether it's in StarCraft or in other games as well. I don't think it's something that permeates much more outside of gaming too much, but yeah. It's typically what you say when you tap out. Oh, right. Sorry, my apologies. I just realized you were referring to something else. My apologies, But yes, as someone else did say in the chat, 99 and 0 does... So, in Challenge, technically there is a way to mark a forfeit, like officially, but it's... We actually had a discussion with, like, some of the people working at Challenge about it. We're like, yo, can you like make it a little bit easier? There is a way to do it, but it's a little bit convoluted. So typically, at least in StarCraft, I don't know if this is the case in other esports or in other games, but at least in StarCraft, it is the go-to to type in or to place the numbers 99 and 0, and that just means walkover. That means that the opponent wasn't there. The opponent was not there. The opponent wasn't able to compete, so it's just a walkover. It means you get a default win. So herO gets a Trigger gets a default win over Shameless because Shameless didn't show, and likewise Rogue gets a default win over Triple because Triple didn't show. So there you go. It's just default win, no game played, just a walkover. Things do get a little bit confusing for ESL brackets because on the ESL website, they don't actually mark that. For ESL, they mark 1-0. So sometimes it can be confusing. You could see that and you're like, oh, did he like win a game and then forfeit? It's like, no, that's just that's how they mark default win. It's just 1-0 on the ESL for ESL Open Cups, for example. So it'd be nice if we had some consistency ESL, but it's fine. Smurge. But yeah, looks like we have the entirety of the first round wrapping up, and now we're getting into the quarterfinals. We're just waiting for our players to conduct their vetoes. If you want to tune into some of these other matches, honestly, all of them look amazing, right? Rogue versus Classic, herO, Trigger, SHIN, Zaun, they all look very good, very spicy. I believe Trigger is streaming his POV, so you can check out Trigger's stream. He is streaming his own point of view. Likewise, I believe Chicken Man is casting a series and CranKy is casting a series. CranKy, of course, is the Spanish caster. El Hermoso, papi, El Hermoso. CranKy is casting Rogue versus Classic, and it looks like so is Steadfast. So CranKy and Steadfast are both in the same match. Having a look here, Dave is covering herO versus Trigger, and where is Chicken Man? Where is El Pollo Loco? Where is shit? Hold on. Sorry, I'm looking for El Pollito, papi. Chicken Man is casting SHIN versus Zaun. There you go. So they're on SHIN, Zaun, herO, Trigger, and Classic Rogue. So everything's being casted. There you go. All the other matches are being covered by another English caster of some kind, and we of course have our series, Dark and Lemon. We have our series. So there you go. And of course that leads into the semis, then into the grand finals thereafter. So we're making our way through the bracket as we speak, making our way through. If our match is a little bit faster, we might be able to join another series as well. But for the most part, we should be having around 3 series left in the broadcast. This round, then semis, then grand finals. Unlike for other tournaments like our events or the Wardy TV Monday, where we would actually hold both semis and cast them one after the other, for the KSL, everything runs at the same time. For the KSL, you know, it's all running concurrently here, semifinals and, of course, quarterfinals as well. So it's really only by chance we're able to cast multiple semifinals. By chance. Otherwise, here we go. We might just go on a short break. Otherwise, we might just go on a short break here. It looks like we need some time to ourselves. it looks like we're waiting for our players to return to us, so hopefully there's no walkover. And I know we were just explaining what a walkover means on Challenge on the website, and we might have that here as well. Hopefully not. Dark is a little bit MIA. I don't blame him. You know, it isn't the first time where Dark has otherwise been absent for a little bit, and typically that is related to, of course, his daughter. Sometimes, you know, he has to look after his daughter, and then something's going on, and you know, he's a pappy now. He's a pappy, so there have been times where we've even had to pause games as things have been going on. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But hopefully he can come back to us. For now, I guess we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we will have our next series. Speaking of wrapping up match, oh my god, we just got an update. herO takes down Trigger. Ooh, herO takes down Trigger 2-0. herO, he gets his revenge, Pappy gets his revenge over Trigger. A very fast PvP, as that they are the first to finish their initial rounds. So we already have herO in the lower semifinals. Still to be determined who will face off against him. So for now, we're going on a break. So take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and hydrate all of your hydras. We'll be back soon with our next match. See you soon. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, I hope you enjoyed that short break and the lovely brutal OSC as we have returned. We have returned with our quarterfinals match. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of El Dorado, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg. Potentially one of his final matches of at least this era of StarCraft, as he is going to be conducting his military service momentarily over the next couple of weeks. We have Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player from the land of Taiwan. It is Lemon. I'll get on it. Hold on. Hold un momento. Lemon. Bam, beautiful. Just fixing up the UI. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is time to get your gamma going. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck in the chat, as predictions will soon close. So place your bets while you can on who you think will take this best of 3. Again, Dark, for those who are unaware, Dark, he did recently receive an award for the Kespa Hall of Fame, or the Esports Kespa Hall of Fame, and Dark did have an acceptance speech referring to him leaving his team, leaving Talent Esports, and of course, soon going to the military service as well. Many people do assume, myself included, this is the reason why he left his team, why he left Talent Esports, and also why he did not play in Masters Coliseum, because Masters Coliseum is a 2-month-long event. It ends next month in January, most of the way through January as well, and if Dark didn't believe that he could compete in that tournament, then it would make sense that he would not accept the invite and be a part of Masters Coliseum due to military service. So we because of that, we have to cast Dark while we can. While we still can, Pappy. While we still can. We need that Dark. We need it. Este Dark. But now, here we go. So far, Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener. We have seen a lot of Zerg players embrace more gasless openers here on El Dorado, but that is typically in different matchups, typically in ZVT. Against Protoss players, I'm curious how our players will approach this. We have seen a rise in popularity of Zerg players expanding towards the south, taking this triangular third base, and even taking the gold as a fourth as well, and taking this entire southern portion of the map, taking the forward base as well. We'll see if Dark does the same, or if he does take a different approach. Meanwhile, we have our take of choice, Stargate. It's going to be a Stargate opener here from the side of Lemon. Going to be going for the Stargate into, I would imagine, Oracle, but we'll keep an eye on him. It is not unheard of to go for something like a Phoenix or a Void Ray instead. The goal of any of the other units would be to deny vision, to deny scouting, and to hunt down specifically this Overlord, and to try to keep the Zerg player in the dark. That's only if it's not an Oracle, but Oracle opener should be the go-to. And the Stargate doesn't complete, and there it is. Oracle is on the way. Again, the Oracle does add a lot of value here in PvZ. It does allow you to scout, it does allow you to harass, does allow you to defend as well. Oracles, they're just, I mean, a really solid all-around utility unit here, especially in the early game, which is also why it is common to open up triple Oracle into a third base. As both players are expanding vertically. Okay, that I was not expecting. I mean, I was expecting that out of our Protoss player, but Dark as well. Dark does also expand towards the north side instead. With this, both players are going to be calming things down, settling in. Oh, and we have our follow-up take of choice. This I was not expecting. Okay, so it's going to be Stargate opener Oracle into a third base, into a very fast Robo. Now, this Robo means that we delay the second Oracle. Second Oracle is delayed. The Overlord does confirm the Oracle is not in production. That is a sign, that is a tell that something is wrong, something is amiss. That money has to be spent somewhere. And Dark, he will check the ramp. Yeah, it does check the ramp, does confirm the Robo. Into a Twilight Council. Is this going to be like an Immortal Charge all in? I imagine that's the direction that we're headed in. I'm just not used to seeing a Robo this early on. It has to be for Immortal production, I would assume. The other option would be to take up into a Bay, but I feel like if that was the case, we wouldn't be getting the Twilight Council. Gateway Explosion is upon us. War Prism is going to be in production. Lemon is still making probes, but he will soon move out across the map with a vanilla gateway. Oh no, okay. He is going for an Archon drop. Okay, this makes a little bit more sense. The kind of the build order that we're seeing here isn't typically what we expect to see for when it comes to going for an Archon drop, but we got there in the end. Did get there in the end. Ideally, it's lined up in such a way that this Temple Archives finishes up by the time the Prism gets across the map. Overlord Scout confirms that the Twilight Council is not researching. Immortal production has begun. And here come those High Templar. There we go. 4 High Templar. That's 2 Archons. And the Archon drop is upon us. Again, we bring this up whenever we cast Creator, but Creator, he's very fond of this opener. I mean, I say that. Creator, he's like the only Korean Protoss that does this. That goes for the more delayed Archon drop. Heading into the main. Catching a couple of transferring workers. He gets 1, he gets 2. 2 drones go down. Prism backs up. Behind this, we do have our Hydra Den on the way. So Dark is going Roach Hydra. Trying to zone away that Prism. We will lose 1 Queen. Now 1 Queen goes down. And the Archons do survive. So far, good trades here by Lemon. Picks up a Queen, gets 6 Slings, takes down 2 drones, and retreats. So far, so good. Archons pushing in. They catch an Overlord. Overlord goes down. Hydras are building up for Dark, bearing in mind that he hasn't really lost many of his workers, so his economy is looking solid. He's on 3 base saturation, and now Dark, he can focus on Roach Hydra production. He's got a 4th, but that should just be for Larva. Should just be for Larva here. Lemon setting up at his 3rd, building up more Immortals. Storm is on the way. And this Archon drop has done okay damage, so ideally this Archon drop is keeping the Zerg player busy, is forcing them to remake workers, but that is not the case. As we mentioned, not a single drone, or I should say only 2 drones went down, and Dark is focusing on his push. He's focusing on his move out, and we'll see if Lemon can survive. I mean, that's a lot of Immortals. That's 4 Immortals, nice stasis traps, Storm is almost done. He has the high ground. And Dark, he spots this, he doesn't like what he sees, he backs off. He backs off for a moment, he starts droning up his 4th, that's 8 workers on the way. Overlord speed as well. Dark, he does get eyes on the 4th, that is a better angle for Dark. And he might not be able to break the 3rd, but just ignore it. Just ignore the 3rd base, go for the 4th instead. Ooh, Oracle goes down. And the expansion is denied, and that's all that Dark has to do, just deny the 4th and get his own. As Dark backs up. Likewise, Storm doesn't quite connect. Dark once again retreating. Does pull away, nice Storm on the Hydras, catching out a couple of roaches. The Dark escapes with most of his high quality army. Try to bait out some storms. Poking in. Massing up more Hydras. Oof. Takes another storm to the face. Prism looking a little bit exposed, but thankfully doesn't siege. And behind this Dark, he's about to max out. He's about to max out on Roach Hydra. Overlord speed is done. Drop Lords are amassing. But alas, Lemon, he has how many Immortals? Jesus, he's got 7. 7 Immortals already. Against Roaches, he can trade well. But that's what the Hydras are for. And they do collapse in, they take down the Archons. No storms! There it is, first storm does land. There's one more storm available. But doesn't quite connect. Nice stutter stepping here out of Dark. He collapses on the army, shuts it down. Sure, there are a lot of Immortals, but there's no support. Yeah, there's no support for the Immortals. They go down one after the other. They need some kind of buffer. They need Archons, they need charge lots on their own. Immortals are so fragile. And they're falling. And Dark, it looks like he has something. He has broken on through. Lemon, he tried to get a 4th base here in the center, but alas, it's not going to stand for much longer. There's 2 Immortals left. Oh, nice juggling. 2 down to 1. And soon to be down to none. Yeah, GG gets called as Dark, he breaks on through, he snowballs out of control, and Dark takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Dark does take a lead in the series. And we'll see if Lemon can bounce back. See if he can bounce back. Again, it was a very unique build out of Lemon to go for the initial Archon drop into mass Immortal production, into Storm, of course. As we saw, he did have a high Immortal count, but what he didn't have was, again, anything to support the army, anything to buffer, anything to help protect what was left over. And in the end, he was overwhelmed. In the end, Dark did break through. And now we're getting ready for game number 2. Getting ready for that second game. Here we go. Game 2 is going to be on... Oh, it's going to be in a very different map. A map that I don't get to see often enough anymore. Up next, we have Ultra Love. Okay, Ultra Love is going to be coming up next. And we'll see if Lemon can bounce back, because he's still sticking with Protoss. He's not switched this time. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing himself, currently teamless, but leading the series 1-0. It is a Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player from the land of Taiwan, down in the series, but we'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Lemon. Here we go. We have our game 2, and again, just a really unique build out of Lemon last game to go for the initial Archon drop. And I do think that he could have had a little bit more success. Unfortunately, if he had just been able to hold on to his 4th base. Again, El Dorado, the base locations and the expansions are quite awkward. They are quite awkward, so it can be quite difficult to actually maintain and actually hold on to that northern expansion. So unfortunately, he was denied it. Likewise, the Archon drop itself didn't really do much damage. We pointed it out. He only got 2 drones. He got 2 drones, he got 1 Overlord and 1 Queen, and that just was not enough damage to really slow Dark down. So now, hatch first. It's going to be hatch gas pool. Stay that open out of dark. Likewise, across the map, we do have the block here at the natural. My apologies, didn't quite notice. But the hatchery is, the Nexus is going to be delayed, is going to be denied. Dark being as annoying as possible. Oh no, just keeps rallying in. And finally, we get the Nexus, but a very delayed Nexus here by Lemon. Ay, ay, ay. And Dark, oh, can he go for the gas steal? Not quite. Doesn't quite get the gas steal, but regardless, some nice damage nonetheless. The downside, of course, is that Dark, his expansion was delayed himself. Not as heavily, of course, as the Protosses, but was somewhat delayed. As Dark is going to be double expanding. I mean, the double expand makes sense just because his natural was, or is later than it otherwise should be. So Dark is making up for it with a faster expansion, with a faster 3rd. Likewise, we have Dark scouting, does check the natural. We'll confirm the Stargate here. Stargate is going to be a part of the wall. The drone is still active. For at least a little bit longer. Oh, finally it goes down. And we'll keep an eye on Dark from here on forward. We'll keep an eye on any kind of earlier Roach Warren timing, earlier Lair timing. You can see Dark, he pulls out a gas at 100, so as a result, there's no early tech. Just link speed. Just link speed into droning, into Queens. In towards the mid game. Ooh, meanwhile, Dark was waiting for the Adeptus Shade across the map. Lings, they do slip in. And can he get a worker? Up, he does not. Barely does not get a probe, does deny some mining time. But shouldn't get much more than that. Likewise. That pokes in. So far so good. Dark, he has minimized his losses, no major drone damage either in the natural or in the main. But we'll see if that changes here as the Oracle moves out. And this time there is a second Oracle. As a reminder, last game it was a Stargate opener into Oracle, into a Robo, into the Archon drop. This time, second Oracle into a 3rd Oracle, I would imagine. So this time a much more standard setup. Oh god. The Oracle takes a lot of hits, takes a lot of damage. Meanwhile, that is an earlier Twilight Council. And I'm leaning towards Glaive Adepts here. This could be one of 2 things. Either Glaive Adepts or an early Blink. Both play things out in very different ways, but I'm leaning towards Adepts here from the side of Lemon. We'll keep an eye on it. What's important? No Forge. No Forge, no upgrades, no +1. This is going to be very committed with the initial upgrade. And show us what you got. Huh. Blink! Okay, Blink, not Glaives. Now, with this setup here, we can be, or I should say, the Protoss can be very assertive and very aggressive early on with a much earlier Blink timing with Oracle support as well. And this doesn't have to, but it can lead into a 3-base all-in with 8 gates. For now, we have 4. We have 4 gateways in total. Keep an eye on that though. We'll see if extra gateways get thrown down. So we'll keep an eye on Lemon. Going for the Forge, going for a delayed +1. Lemon needs to reinforce and will soon move out across the map. Blink is halfway done. Now, Lemon is playing with fire right now, and he has to be very careful as he pushes in without Blink. Gets an Overlord. Pulls away. Lings are amassing from the side of Dark. Dark making sure he doesn't get supply blocked. Lair is on the way. Dark saturating his 3rd. Link is almost done. You can see, last Lemon, he's setting up. His goal here is to try to break down that third, or at least pick up some queens, pick up some workers, out-trade the Zerg. There we go, he does push in. Yeah, Blink is now done. You can go for the queens. Ooh, you can try at least. Lings are coming from behind. Stasis goes off. And Dark, he does not get, he does get one, not even. Oh, does not get the Stalker. Nice movement here from Lemon. He pulls away. Did pull away in time. Pushing forward here towards the third base. The line of queens, the Will Queens, they're holding though. Yeah, they're holding well. Stasis runs out. Stalkers, they get surrounded. Stalkers are going down. Yeah, some brutal losses there for Lemon. Did bleed out one Stalker. But outside of that, has been trading very efficiently. And behind this Dark, knocking down that tower. Extra gateways on the way. I believe that is going to be a 6-gate setup. Extra gas is being taken, which means Lemon should be taking. We should be seeing charge, for example. Like charge on the way to reinforce with zealots. Extra gateways. That's going to be a 7th and an 8th gateway. There, into tech, into storm. Tower gets knocked down. Dark is trying to hold on and trying to mass up his Ling Hydra. I mean, the Hydra production is underway. Yeah, much more efficient army here against Mass Stalker. So Dark is building up. He's on 3 base saturation, just under it. 4th base is about to finish. And even though these Stalkers have been trading very well against Lings, we haven't really been able to get into a mineral line. Looking at the resource tab here, you can see only one drone. Only one drone kill, 2 Overlords as well. These have been good trades against the Lings, but not enough. Or I should say, not really the amount of damage that Lemon was hoping for. He was hoping for more. He was hoping for more damage. Bearing in mind that a lot of these upgrades and a lot of this tech was delayed in favor of the Stalker aggression. And he needs a little bit more time to get away with it. You want Dark, he is building up. He's cutting workers at 66. There we go, now draining up a little bit further. Getting up to 69. Nice. 74 even. As Dark, he is able to hold on. He's not taking any further, bear that in mind. There's no infestation bit, there's no lurker den, there's no hive. Just laying a Hydra, now Roach. Likewise, Lemon getting his own 4th base up and running. His own economy has been untouched itself. So even though on the one hand, Lemon hasn't really dealt much economic damage, he's also been able to maintain map control, which has saved his own mineral lines. His bases have been untouched. Storm is now done. And Lemon, he has potential. Ooh, Fleet Beacon on the way. That I was not expecting. Okay, Lemon going to be rushing into Skytoss, or at least Mothership. Meanwhile, Zelsa get caught out. Hydra's pushing in. Decent storm on some of those Hydras. But last Dark, he is maxing out, catching out the army. Oh yeah, brutal engage here for Lemon. Nice Stasis does go up. Storms on the Hydras. But reinforcements, they come in from behind. Ideally trying to catch out some of this High Templar, forcing the Archons. And the Archons are going to be targeted down. Zelsa coming from behind. Nice clean up here to Lemon. Who surrounds who? As reinforcements, they come in as well. Yeah, just a very chaotic fight here, but in the end, it looks like Dark, he is getting some of those Stalkers. Zelsa catching reinforcements. But the Ling Roach does collapse on the Stalkers. Oh, another Archon's going to be morphed in. No storms. But Dark, he is running out of steam. He's running out of steam. He did trade well against the army, but he did not get into the bases. Not quite yet. Tower gets knocked down. Dark, he's going to be remaxing once again. Mothership is on the way. Now, my biggest concern coming into this next wave of attack from Dark is no storm. Again, all the High Templar, they either died or were forced into Archons. High Templar, they just now morphed in. And without storm, this is going to be a tough hold. Here we go. Dark is maxed. He's got +2. And again, remember, Dark, he's not taking. He's not taking up. So potentially, if Lemon's able to hold on a little bit longer, he can outscale Dark. in a longer game. But Dark, he peels off a handful of units, does head towards the natural. Nice storms on the Hydras. They do graze the army. But the natural has been broken. Tempest has been scattered as well. And Dark, he's going for the Stargate. He's trying to. Warpins are coming in. The mineral line is on fire. 16 probes go down. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, the economy does take a big blow. Tempest has arrived, and it looks like 11 should barely clean up this army. But at a cost. Oh, there's the cloak. Dark, no detection. Did cost Lemon 16 workers. But the worker count, they're neck and neck. And actually, I want to favor Lemon now. Lemon, he's now getting away with Sky Toss. Second Stargate is up and running, making Mass Tempest. 2 Tempests at a time. Dark collapsing in. Trying to catch out the army. No storms. No storms is brutal. Yeah, Archons are going down. Slow zone was a nice touch here. Temple gets started. But Dark, he doesn't really have the kind of army that can really contest against this. Now we get the Spire, but this Spire is late. Again, no Spire, no Infestation Pit. Dark has an economy, but the quality of the army is just not there. Yo, Lemon, can he force that ace match? And now the Tempest count is building up. Dark, he does hit the left-hand side. Going for the Nexus. Trying to deny the 5th. Some Zealots to defend. There we go. More Zealots to get peeled off. More Lings as well. And again, the longer this game goes on, the better it's going to be for Lemon. As long as it doesn't take any major losses. And I may have spoken too soon because this base may go down. More Zealots are coming to reinforce. Yeah, the base survives. Lemon holds. Lemon, he holds. He's making 3 Tempests at a time. Now, the Spire is going to help when it comes to at least corrupted reinforcements, but the Tempest count is going to be insanely high. You could argue that the Tempest count is maybe too high. Like, having like maybe 4 to 5, 6 at most Tempests, they do a great job at just being the backbone of your army, but they need support. Like, on their own, Tempests are not as ideal. They need Archon and Storm support. They need either Void Rays or Carriers as well. So I'm a little bit concerned about how high the Tempest count is, but we'll see. Again, it's gonna be 9. It's gonna be what, 11? No, sorry, 10. It's gonna be 10 Tempests and only 2 Archons, right? Like, that's my concern with the corrupted reinforcements, especially if the corrupted count gets a little bit higher. Then I mean, there's just not enough anti-air on the ground. There's gonna be storms, true. Speaking of, the corruptors, they poke in, gonna be zoned away. They bypass the Archon. 1 Tempest goes down. He gets 1. And he's getting more. But at least he's trying to. He gets a second. The second Tempest falls. Ground army towards the 5th. Storms are brutal. Ground army's going down. Lemon is still very much so in this game. Saves the expansion. Shuts down the Roach Hydra. More corruptors are amassing. But here comes the main Protoss army. He's got how many? He's got 8 Tempest. So to be 9. I still don't see these Tempests surviving too well. It'll come down to the fight. That's a lot of Corruptors. And only 2 Archons. And the Queens are coming into support. Storm's going to try to zone away. The Storms have potential. And the Corruptors, they dive in. The slow zone is brutal. Oh god, the Storm with the slow zone as well. And despite that, looks like the Corruptors, yeah, they will take down every single Tempest. The Tempests go down. And the ground army as well. Yeah, Darky takes the fight again. Too many Tempests. Just too many Tempests here. Not enough on the ground. And Lemon, he will lose the main army. Down to only Stalkers and Zealots. And with that, Dark is pushing through. I mean, again, that was maybe the best fight that Lemon could have hoped for. Like, Dark was even fighting in the slow zone. Like, the slow zone was not helping Dark. Despite that, he still took the fight. And now Dark, he's just snowballing out of control. He's just brute forcing it with Roach Hydra. That's a lot of High Templar. Jesus. That's a lot of storms. And Dark respecting it, does kite his heart out. Kills the natural. Does kill the natural. In this position, I mean, that would be when lurkers would be ideal. Speaking of lurkers, finally the infestation pit has been thrown down. We can head towards Hive Tech eventually. Stark is waiting for a split push. He's working for a split move out. Getting on top of the Robo. Getting into the mineral line as well. Corruptors, they go for the 4th. Hydras, they go for the 3rd. And Robo goes down. And Dark is just keeping, or at least forcing supply here to be pinned back. Oh my god, takes some massive storms to the face. Can he get the expansion? Oh, it's going to be close. It looks like he will barely get it. Nexus goes down. Dark gets the hell out of here. Has to pull away. It does so step out of there. And again, I mean, shout out to Lemon. Lemon, he did have some strong moments in this game. But as I mentioned before, like, I wasn't too convinced by the army that he had maxed out with. Did leave a bit to be desired. And with that, Dark did take the fight. Now looking to overwhelm. Hive is now on the way. Still no Lurker Den. Corruptors, they dive back into the 4th. As Hydra threatens the main army. Meanwhile, the Corruptor, can he get the expansion? Oh, not quite. The Corruptors do all go down. Just do full. There it is, Lurker Den's on the way. It's a late Lurker Den for Dark, but it's at least in production. As this was rely on purely Roach Hydra Ling to deal with this army. So not the easiest way to deal with it, but I mean it kind of works. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Roach Hydra pushes in. We're now going to be deflected. Oof. And so far, Lemon, he is catching up in supply. He's slowly building back up. And nice storms. Again, Dark, he never really wanted to. I mean, clearly he did not want to make lurkers this game, but now he has to. He's like, fine, I'll make the lurkers, Fatty. I'll make them. Aye. And once he does, he will be able to have his way with this. Unfortunately, there's just not a high enough immortal counts. When you're with a ground-based army, a massive Immortal Archon can do well against lurkers. I mean, even before the lurkers are coming for the surround. Storm goes off. I believe that was the final storm. No more High Templar. And who needs lurkers? Who needs them? Just mass Hydra. As Hydras are breaking through, there's the storm. High Templar just morphing in. Dark trying to lunge away. Get the hell out of here. Tries to pull back. Getting caught out. And show us the lurkers, Pappy. There we go. 18 lurkers on the way. Send it, Pappy. The lurkers are on the way. Carrier production has begun once again, but this does feel a little bit too late at this point. Dark, he can go back into Corruptors if need be. And we'll see if we even get to see these carriers as Dark is remaxed and pushing in. This time with the lurkers, with the Hive upgrades. Lurker range is done. Adapted Talon's still in production. But Dark is pushing in. Again, 18 lurkers. Still looking for a better angle. Headed towards the 3rd. Last Lemon's out of position. Lurkers, they push in. Oof. And that's going to be not just a third base with a mineral line and 2 robos. And the robos also under fire. Oh god, this army cannot push into this. It's not going to happen. He's going to try to come in from behind. But also take some massive spine shots to the face. Hydras, they push in towards the south. Carriers are revealed. The carriers, they have arrived. Let's go. I feel like Dark could still commit, but for now, pulling away. Now he pulls away. Once again, burrowing in. Ooh, diving on the High Templar. He gets 1, he gets 2. High Templar go down, and Dark can still just maintain his position. He could be making Corruptors, but he's just remaxing with Hydra. He's just making more Hydras. At this point, why not? As again, Lemon, he just cannot push into this army. The carriers are helping, but I mean, against these few carriers, Hydras, they can hold their own. Again, there's only 3 carriers. Tempest production has begun once again. Mothership has arrived, but the base goes down. The expansion does fall. Getting to the mineral line. Catching out a couple of lurkers. Lemon moving out. This is going to be his final push. Like, Lemon, his economy is in shambles. He's down to 41 workers. This is his moment. Dark still not making any Corruptors. Nah, we don't need them. Just committing to Hydra Lurker. Oh no, the Probes, no! Get out of here! A bit of an early rotation, a bit of an early transfer. And the Probes are going to go down. And again, Lemon doesn't really have many to begin with. Does recall over. Lemon, who will lose 15 workers. With that down to 26. He's on basically 1 base economy. Oh, that's a kill, not a cancel. And Darky's pushing in. He's pushing in towards that, the last mining base, really. The final mining base of Lemon. That's all he's got left. How many Tempest are we up to? 7. 7 Tempest, 3 carrier. If there was an economy behind this, and if Lemon could max out, then I'd be all for it. Building up. Oh, there's an observer, thankfully. There we go. Observer does waddle in. At the same time, as Lemon moves out, the main army does dive forward. There's the cloak. There's the recall as well. Well, as the mothership goes down, the recall's denied. This is the final mining base. It goes down. GG gets called, and Darky will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Darky will claim the series. Congratulations. Shout out to Lemon though. Again, Lemon, he did fight his heart out, and honestly, there were moments in this game where I thought Lemon had it. With Lemon, he was able to survive the aggression of Dark. Dark was being punished for being all in. I was pointing out multiple times that Dark, he was not really thinking further ahead. He was not taking up. So because of that, his hive was very late. His spire was late. Like, everything was delayed from the side of Dark. And because that, he was just stuck with like a more mid-tier army, which is why he had a hard time killing his opponent. And Lemon, he almost recovered. He almost was able to recover and almost able to take his own lead. But in the end, GG. GG, well played. Dark will take it. And with that, we're getting ready for our next for the next round. We're getting ready for the semifinals. We are getting ready for the semifinals. And if you're in the chats, it's time to catch up. Time to catch up. Exclamation mark, be in the chat. If you guys want to have a look at the back of yourselves. Here we go. From the top, we have Dark. Dark takes down Lemon 2-0. Dark advances onto the semis. Rogue takes down Classic 2-0 as well. I believe that was casted by Steadfast over towards the lower portion of the bracket. But Rogue does take the series 2-0. Very well done. Scrolling down, herO took down Trigger. Again, we did see those results coming in. I believe that was casted by Dave Testa. And SHIN takes down Down 2-0 as well. That was being covered by Chicken Man. El Pollo Loco. Chicken Man does cover that series. SHIN does advance on, takes down Down. And now we have SHIN versus herO once again in the semifinals. SHIN and herO, they face off many times. Again, they are good friends, they are old teammates, and that's going to be a spicy ZVP. Best of luck in those lower semifinals. I don't know who's casting that series, I'll be honest. I'm sure it's being casted by someone. Let me just double check here. It's being casted by Chicken Man, I believe. Yeah, Chicken Man. Chicken Man's going to be covering that series. So Chicken Man, he's got you covered with herO versus SHIN. We have you covered with Dark versus Rogue. Let's go. So we have our mirror matchup, and this is going to lead us into the grand final. So we have around 2 matches left here, or 2 series left. Dark versus Rogue into those finals. And this ZVZ is going to be an interesting one. Dark in general, I would say the strongest ZVZ in South Korea. It is terrifying. So we'll see if he's able to get one over on Rogue. When it comes to Rogue ZVZ, it's also very intense. We did cast a lot of Rogue ZVZ against Solar during DreamHack Dallas, if you recall, at the start of the year. It was insane how strong Rogue was looking then. We'll see how he compares to Dark, though. This is a matchup that we don't often get to see. Don't often get to see Rogue and Dark face off. I'm ready for it. And again, we'll see if Rogue can actually earn if he can earn that spot that Dark is going to be kind of leaving here in South Korea. Again, Dark, he will soon be joining the military, of course. We'll soon be joining that military, and in doing so, you know, that leaves a spot open for the top Zerg player in South Korea. You know, we have Solar, we have SHIN, we have Rogue. Who will rise up to take that place? Who is going to do it? We'll see if Rogue is worthy. Let's find out as we're jumping into our fresh best of 3. Let's go. If you're in the chat, Gamba soon. It will soon be Gamba time. Don't you worry. We'll get there. We'll get there. As Vidas are done, and game 1 is going to be on El Dorado. Here we go. We're getting into our next game. We're getting into our semifinals, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. Bottom left-hand corner of El Dorado, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg. Currently teamless, but still the best Zerg player in South Korea. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have someone. Oh, let's go. Going for a 13-12. We have the red Zerg player himself from South Korea representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. You don't often see this. Oh, 13-12 out of Rogue. Meanwhile, a hatch gas pool out of Dark. So this is going to be... Wait, hold on. My apologies. With the hatchery... Was this a 12-11? So my apologies here. I think this was... I wasn't quite paying attention to the initial opener here. Either 13-12 or 12-11. I'm leaning towards 12-11 just because there is a hatchery involved as well. But regardless, a very aggressive start, very aggressive build here from Rogue. And here we go. Here we go. Also, this is not a replay cast. My apologies. There we go. As we are going to be settling in. So far, Lings are moving out across the map. Ling speed is being researched, and there is no further gas income. There's no further gas income here. It is going to be just Ling speed, no banelings. As Roki's moving out with Mass Ling, and it's going to be on Dark to recognize what's going on. The Overlord does dip in, and the Overlord may just barely get a glimpse of the hatchery timing. And it is actually pretty close compared to his own. So very well a hidden build here from Rogue. Likewise, he transfers drones down, so it looks like he's going for a standard opener when really it's anything but. Anything but standard. As Lings, they are going to commit. Just waiting for Ling speed. And Dark is none the wiser. And we'll see how quickly Dark can respond. He's going to have to try to evacuate the natural. Rogue, he's going to be looking for economic damage, of course. Here we go. The Lings are revealed. Dark, he does get the hell out of here. One drone less. It gets left behind. Oh my god. Drone does escape. Alas, Queen is going to get surrounded. And more boys have to be pulled here to try to save the Queen. The Queen is going to fall. Massive pick off. Queen goes down. We do have a backup Queen, though. The boys, they hit a support. Lings are amassing. But there are just so many Lings in favor of Rogue. He does collapse in. Takes down the Lings. Getting on top of the drones. Doesn't quite get the Queen yet. But he's going for it. That's around. He's getting on top of the Queen. The Queen, it's going to fall. Couple more shots. Couple more hits. And the Queen will survive. Oh my god, just barely. Whew. Queen does live. Dark, he's barely holding on, and Dark, he may have lost 9 drones, but Dark is still ahead. Rogue is all in, by the way. He's completely all in. Just completely all in. And it looks like with the reinforcements, he will get the Queen. Dark, he has to evacuate the low ground. He's not going to be able to. Yeah, not going to be able to in time. And Rogue, he has done it. He resets the Queen count, takes down all the Lings. GG gets called, and Rogue, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Very cheeky build here out of Rogue, hiding his 13-12, hiding his aggressive build, making it look standard, again with the fake, or with the, I should say, with the hatchery that was very, very nicely timed, with the fake drones towards the natural as well. Did fake out Dark, and Dark was caught out. Dark was caught out then and there. Basically, winding it back if you're curious, if Dark had realized what was going on, he most likely, I would say, either have committed a little bit harder to protecting the natural initially to save the first Queen. Like, losing the first Queen was huge. It was a huge moment, and it would have had to have pulled the boys a little bit earlier, or have just abandoned the natural base entirely. Just abandon the natural, defend on one base instead, and try to take that approach. Either one or the other. Last Dark, again, he had only seconds to respond and seconds to react. And with that, did fall. Did fall. And here we go. We're getting into game number 2. Here we go. And I'm hoping for an ace match. I'm hoping for a game 3, but the pressure is now on Dark. The pressure is on. Oh. As our next game is going to be on a much larger map, we're going to be loading into Abyssal Reef. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the other South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg, leading the series 1-0. It is Rogue. For Team Falcons, also my apologies, as I think because game 1 was so fast, I forgot to press it, but yeah, predictions now open. Predictions are now open. I apologize, but game 1 was so fast and so quick that I had to jump into it that I did forget to post those predictions in Twitch chat. They are now open, so you can place your bets. Of course, it may skew in one direction, but I want to believe that Dark can bring it back. For now, hatch first. Hatch first from both sides. So hatch gas pools all around. Again, we're on a very large map. This is not the map to go 13-12 on, or even 12 pool. Like, the map is just too big for that sort of thing, so I do not expect any early game aggression yet. And we could even see the direct opposite of that instead. This map is very defendable on 2 and 3 bases. We could even see our players try to tech up a little bit more greedily here and maybe skip their bailiness, go straight into roaches, go into a faster lair, go into mutaplay, for example. There are options available here for both Dark and Rogue. So a very different dynamic. We'll see what we go for. For now, just droning. For now, just droning up, saturating our bases. Everything is looking as it should for the time being. Really, our eye is going to be on our players to see if they do expand and take that third, or if they try to wall off. In general, we haven't really seen too much 2-base play on Abyssal Reef, just because of the entry point here, just because it's a little bit wider, just because you have to protect 2 locations at once. Like, we don't really see 2-base play. So we should be taking a third. Should be. So now our players are expanding. Expanding, they should be working towards that third base momentarily. We have a couple of scouting links moving out across the map. And again, the purpose of these links should be to get eyes on the would-be third and get eyes on whether or not a Baneling Nest is thrown down. Speaking of, here we go. Third base for Dark, third base for Rogue. So far, so good. Do have Rogue pulling out of gas. Dark, he does stay in gas, which means Dark can make extra Banelings, assuming he does throw down the nest. And there it is. There's a Baneling Nest. So Baneling Nest for Dark. And from the side of Rogue, we should be seeing one as well. If not, that is going to be definitely something to take note of. Evo Chamber, we have confirmation. Rogue is skipping Banelings. Bold move out of Rogue. Now, if Dark realizes what's going on, which he has not, he did not go for a Link Scout and the Overlords are zoned away, so Dark is unaware as to what's happening. And because of that, if Dark doesn't punish this, then Rogue will have he will have a lead. He will have a lead here by walling up, walling off, getting into roaches, and potentially getting to 2-base Muta. Or, I guess, 3-base Muta. Ooh, Solar, is that you? Carapace is on the way. We should be seeing a Roach Warren. Fast plus on Carapace typically leads into a Ling Roach Ravager all-in. Typically just Ling Ravager, to be honest. There we go. Roach Warren's on the way. And Dark knows. Dark, at least he has scouted the tech. And you can see Dark, he's Ling flooding. Yeah, 22 Lings in production. Again, Dark, now that he realizes that his opponent is cutting tech. Now, what I will say, this is a late realization for Dark, so that is a bit of a rough position for him to be in, but there's so much pressure on Dark to at least kill the third, at least snipe the third base. We'll see if he can get it. I mean, ideally, he wants more than that. He wants not just the third, but the queens, and maybe some economic damage as well. As here we go, Dark, he does commit. We have Banelings waddling in on the right-hand side. So far, the SimCity is solid. Dark has to look for another way in. Rotates around towards the third. Yeah, Dark, he does confirm lack of saturation. He's going for the queens. Queens get surrounded. Yeah, nice surround here on the queens. 1, 2 queens going to be going down. Decent baiting connections as well. Yeah, they crash into the Lings. They don't quite get into the middle line. Roaches get spotted. Roaches get confirmed. And now Dark, he's aware of the all-in. He is aware. Does take down one of the roaches. Again, did trade well against the Lings. Baneling going for the mineral line. Can he get it? Up. Can he? Not quite. Oh, not quite. Does get another roach. But Darky's running out of steam. He's running out of steam, and now it's soon going to be time for Rogue to counterattack. Plus on Carapace is almost done. Dark is droning. Dark is amassing up his own roaches back at home. Still being active with those Lings, though. Still being active. Darky backs off. Now it's time for Rogue to counterattack. And again, Rogue should not be droning. He should not be droning. Rogue should be going for a big Ling Roach all-in. Oh, I say that. Does start saturation. This means that Rogue, he won't be able to punish the third base, which means Dark does have an economic lead. Now, I'm curious if this is because he misses window. Like, again, he's stuck at home. A +1 Carapace did complete. And we'll see. We'll see if Rogue keeps droning or not. No lair yet. There's no lair for Rogue. There's no lair for Dark. Rogue, he's taking extra gases. He's saturating his bases. Dark is being careful. He's actually not saturating that third base. He could, to be honest. Like, Dark, he could just fully saturate this third, but he doesn't know that Rogue is droning. Okay, there we go. Now we have some late saturation here from Dark. Some workers now on the way. +1 melee. Interesting choice. That I was not expecting. +1 melee on the way for Dark. This tells us that he's most likely going Ling Ravager. Okay, you have my attention. Typically with Ling Ravager, your goal here is to surround the army and bile it down. Rogue getting into +1 range, into a more roach-based composition. Neither player teching. Both players still only on hatcheries. And the Lings are hidden. So far, the Lings have been hidden here. But Rogue did see at least some drones at the third. And here we go. Dark is all in. Dark is moving out across the map with everything he has. With Roach Ling towards the right. Does have some Lings here towards the left. +1 melee just now finishing up. I assumed it was going to be Ling Ravager, but it's going to be Ling Bane Roach instead. That's a lot of Banelings instead of Ravagers. He gets surrounded. Nice pickup. And coming into this with this many Banelings, I mean, they can trade somewhat well against Roaches. It's going to be an interesting fight, to say the least. And the Banelings, they waddle in. They shut down a decent chunk of Roaches. They try to soften them up. But the Banelings are running out. And does Dark have enough? He does not. And not enough Roaches, not enough Lings. Not enough reinforcements. Dark, he does try to catch reinforcements here towards the left-hand side. But Dark is being forced back. And roG, he's holding. He is holding. He is going to shut this down. Oh, did I speak too soon? The reinforcements have arrived. Getting on top of the army. Roaches are bleeding out. And roG, he kites back. He deals with the harass in the main. And with that Dark, he's in a lot of trouble here. Gotta be forced further back. roG chasing him down. I mean, he can afford to do so. He has 1/1 upgrades. He just has the superior Roaches. And Dark, he falls back, and he's just being outscaled. To be honest, like, roG, he just has a massive Roach army. Dark trying to counterattack, trying to buy time. Massing up his own Roaches back at home. But Dark has lost map control. Taking out Lings. roG now pushing in. And suddenly roG is a player with Roach Ravager. Dark stuck on Ling Roach. He's stuck on 0/0 upgrades for the Roaches. I mean, that's the most concerning thing. Because he chose to go into the melee upgrades. And that's not really going to be as big of a factor here. Files, they do snipe one of those Overlords. There are Banelings to defend. roG pushing in. Files, they do not connect. Oh, they do graze the army though towards the end. Lings, they collapse in. Files, they once again graze the army. And the connections might just be good enough. Oof. They're denying some of those eggs. Boys are being pulled. Drones into the Ravagers. The Ravagers are getting more exposed. But there's so many Lings. Yeah, Lings, they just keep filing in. The Vials, they don't quite connect. But GG gets called. roG, he will overwhelm Dark, and roG, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. A very, very tense ZVZ here in game number 2. Again, I was even feeling uneasy the entire time when it came to the lack of droning, lack of saturation, the choice of our players to tech in certain directions. I wasn't opposed to Dark's initial Ling Flood. I'm not too in love with the follow-up though. If you remember, Dark, he was going into his own kind of Ling Roach Flood or Ling Bane Roach Flood. We saw the Banelings, they just weren't really ideal. I think Dark was hoping that roG was droning, but roG wasn't. Right, roG, he was not droning whatsoever, so it was kind of all in versus all in, but roG, he had just the better Roaches. He had the better Roach Ravager. He was able to focus and build up those upgrades over time and eventually just overwhelm Dark. GG. GG, well played. With that, roG will take it, and now we are making our way to the grand finals. As it looks like we have some updates. Looks like herO versus SHIN has concluded, went all the way to the ace match as we expect. Did go all the way to game 3, but herO did take it in the end. herO, he gets his revenge, takes down SHIN 2-1. And up next we have the grand final. It's going to be a best of 5 between herO and roG. Let's go. herO and roG is going to be coming up next. And again, we'll see if it holds true that was the passing of the torch here. Again, I don't know exactly when Dark is going to the military. We know it's soon TM. We know it's coming up, definitely. And there is that kind of, there is going to be that vacuum to be filled with a rising Zerg, and it could be roG. Could be roG, baby. Let's go. Still solo versus for both? Yes, it was hatch tech for both players. Neither player had a lair. Neither player had a lair. Student team has been for 2 years. If you weren't here earlier, we did explain that Dark had an interview recently saying that he was going to his military, which is why Dark is teamless at the moment. So if you weren't here for it previously, we did explain that most likely it's going to be in the next couple of weeks. I should say most likely it's going to be in January. We'll see if that happens, though. We'll see. But he did have an interview when he received his KESPA award. His KESPA award at the end of 2024. And now we're getting into the grand finals. Getting into those finals. So everything to get a KESPA award. Yeah, it was I say KESPA award, it was Dark being inaugurated into the esports KESPA Hall of Fame. So there you go. So Dark, he's been added to the Hall of Fame, which is nice to see. He's definitely appreciative. To see a StarCraft player in 2024 now being like kind of brought in. But now we're getting into our final series tonight. We're getting into the grand finals. Again, it's going to be a best of 5. Predictions will soon be open in the chat. This time I'll be on top of it. This time I will be on top of posting those predictions as soon as we get in. Don't you worry. You get there. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Weibo Gaming. It is herO. We go, and if you're in the chats, it's time to get your Gamba going. It's Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck in the chats as we have our final match here, our final best of 5. We're here to crown the final champion of KSL for 2024. Let's go. It all does end here. And then we mark a new year. Let's go. As here he does move out across the map, he will delay the expansion, he will force the unnatural natural out of Rogue, and welcome one and all to Whispers of Gold. Now this map is very wide open, it's very wide open, very exposed. Aggression is favored definitely here on Whispers of Gold, so we'll see if either herO or Rogue does embrace that. We have seen a lot of successful Roach aggression on this map, or even Ling Hydra aggression as well. Likewise, we've seen herO embrace Glaive Adepts more than once on this map, so we'll see which opener our players do embrace. We'll keep an eye on both herO and Rogue. For now, Hatch Gas Pool, standard openers, likewise Gate Expand out of herO. Everything so far looking as it should. So far so good. As we're just waiting for our initial tech of choice, here just being as annoying as possible in the main base. Again, when I refer the reference that I made earlier about how aggression is favored here, the big reason for this is how exposed the 3rd and 4th bases are. Unlike on some of these other maps, there's no big point of elevation, there's no narrow ramp coming into the expansion, so as a result, whether it's rotating between the bases or even knocking down these rocks to reduce the time it takes to get across the map, these bases can be very vulnerable to dedicated pushes. Both at the 3rd and the 4th, or even both at the same time as well. Of course, that is applicable to both players. And we'll see what direction we do head in. For now, herO going for the initial Stargate opener. It'll be a Stargate opener out of herO into, I would imagine, Oracles. We have seen herO go for Void Ray openers as of late. True, he has been mixing it up. Going for Void Rays, hiding his tech, and having some fun when it comes to the follow-up as well. But based on the rally, the rally is actually headed towards the natural, and there is no Stalker. So we may just be seeing, yeah, the initial Void Ray. We'll see. I mean, it could be Adept into Stalker instead. but typically it'd be a Stalker second. There we go. Oracle's on the way. Does re-rally across the map. There we go. Does re-rally. And that means we can just settle it. So Oracle opener into a third base. Everything looking as it should. So far, so good. Meanwhile, Rogue back at home, still just saturating his bases. Did pull out of gas, so he's not rushing into an early Evo chamber or early lair. So we can rule out early tech out of Rogue. And it's going to come down to how well Rogue could defend against the Oracle. The main base so far, we have a Spore on the way. Oracle has arrived. Queen's here mainly at the natural. And the third. Spore not quite ready. But here he's taking his time, and the Spore in the main base will complete. So the Spore is done. The initial Oracle is just building up energy. The second Oracle has now arrived. Third Oracle's on the way. Here he will expand towards his opponent. Taking the triangular third. We'll see what Hero gets into. There we go. Twilight Council has been placed. That is a bit of an earlier Twilight Council. Spore not quite yet done. 3 drones go down at the third. Not bad. 3 drone kills, and the Oracles, they do get away. Queen's not quite in position. And do you see what I see? I see no Forge. So delayed Forge here out of Hero. Throws down extra gateways. And this could be one of two things. If this was any other Protoss, I would say Glaive Adepts. For Hero, I would assume this is going to be Fast Blink. As it's getting into 4 gateways. If you remember, we did see something similar here at 11 previously in the broadcast. And show us what you got. As the Twilight Council is now done, and yep, it is going to be Blink. Now, with this, Hero can be very aggressive very early on, just because Blink is going to finish up faster than normal. The downside, no Forge, means no +1. It's going to be delayed +1 for Hero, so in a way, his army is going to scale a little bit worse in a longer game, but he can be assertive earlier on, which means he can try to knock down Queens and even get into mineral lines. As Zepsay busts into the natural. Drones are going to be going down, getting 2 workers so far, shading into the main. Oracles are zoned away. 3 drone kills. Rogue, he will hold, he will defend. But despite that, still some nice damage here out of Hero. Shades into the natural once again, getting another drone. 4 workers falling. Finally going to be cleaned up, getting up. Barely not another worker. There we go, 5 in total. Oracles, they thread in the bases. They thread the needle across the map. And Blink is almost done, and that means the Stalker should soon move out. And then we'll have these Oracles to support. So far, 4th base on the right-hand side. And we'll see if Hero can deny it. That's going to be the ideal here. As Hero moves out, is to deny the expansion. For now, pushing towards the left-hand side instead. Going to be clearing up creep. Does barely miss one of the tumors. Lings, they try to come in from behind. Stasis goes off only on 3 Lings. But the Stalkers, they do overwhelm. They do push in. More Lings coming in from behind. Queens are under fire. And the Lings, they do catch some reinforcements. Oh, not quite. Nice control. 1 Stalker goes down, getting a 2nd Stalker as well. But the last Queens are falling. Yeah, here he commits into the mineral line. Spores, they take a lot of damage. 1 Spore is going to go down. Sorry, 1 Oracle goes down to the Spore. And Hero is going to be punished for this. Does recall back home, but I'm not so sure that was quite worth it. Looking at the trades here, Hero, he does kill 2 Queens and 38 Lings. That was a lot of Lings, and my apologies. I assume that more Stalkers had gone down. Only 4. Okay. I believe 2 of those were the reinforcing Stalkers, and the other 2 are part of the main army, so very nice trades out of Hero. Again, I just assumed that more Stalkers were going down. They did get low, but they survived. Stalkers did survive. Hero maintains the supply lead, picking off more Lings. And now he rotates over. And I mentioned before, his goal he with his move out should be to deny the 4th. And here comes, here's the 4th base, and he's going for it. And if he can kill the 4th, then that could just be game. Rogue, he has to fight for it. He has to commit. Does run away the army. Oh god, but the Lings are having a hard time. The Stasis Trap was brutal. The hatchery taking a lot of hits. And the fourth base, it survives. Oh, okay. It barely lives. The kiting is brutal though. The Lings, they get called out. Queens are exposed. GG gets called as the fourth base gets broken. And herO takes game number 1. GG. Again, as we mentioned, that fourth base was a crucial, pivotal kind of moment here in that game. We mentioned it. herO, his goal was to kill it, and if he kills it, I mean, that's game then and there. And alas, he did break his opponent. It isn't just that though. It isn't just losing the fourth base, but Rogue, he fought very hard to save it, and he failed to do so. He failed to save the fourth base. He lost all of his Lings. He lost most of his Queens. Lost everything in the process, and alas, for nothing, as the fourth was going to go down. So GG. GG, well played. herO does take it. Again, a very aggressive build out of herO, winding it back. If you remember, he went for an earlier Twilight Council. He did delay his Forge quite heavily, delayed his +1 in favor of Fast Blink, and herO, he traded very well with those Blink Stalkers. Again, flexing his control, flexing his micro. Unfortunately, Rogue, he was unable to minimize losses. He was unable to minimize or have better trades with that. GG. GG, well played. And again, just winding it back a little bit more, we did speak about how this map, Whispers of Gold, is, again, it does kind of favor this kind of style. It favors aggression, so we expected one of the two players to be hyper aggressive. It was herO. In the end, it was herO. And now we're getting into game number 2. We're going to be loading into Ultra Love. Ultra Love is very different to Whispers of Gold. Whispers of Gold is like the smallest map and the most aggressive map out there. Here, Ultra Love is a lot more defensive. Does have a relatively short rush distance by ground, but as opposed to Whispers of Gold, the third and fourth base are a lot more defendable on Ultra Love. Much more so than the map we just saw. So there's a bit of a give and take here. On the one hand, sure, the rush distance is still larger than that of Whispers of Gold, but relatively short. Despite that though, much more defendable, so we could embrace the mid game instead. Wouldn't be surprised if we do see some more macro builds here out of our two players, but we'll see. We shall see. Just because the map favors a certain style doesn't mean that's what we have to see. As you can try to catch your opponent off guard, catch them with their pants down by being aggressive and them not expecting it. And here we go. We're getting into our next game, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this and have it back and forth. It is Rogue. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is herO. Leading the series 1-0. And a bit of a fun fact for those who do not know, herO, he is the KSL champion. I mean, period. What I mean by that, out of all players in the history of the Korean StarCraft League, herO, he has the most wins under his belt. He has won the most amount of Korean StarCraft Leagues, and we'll see if he becomes also the final champion of the year. Coming into this, herO, he is favored. He is the favorite player. But again, Rogue has been improving over time. Rogue, a couple of months ago at this point, did return from the military, but has been improving, has been leveling up. What I will say is that his EVP does seem like it does need a little bit more work on. I feel like his ZVT and ZVZ have been the most impressive to really embrace and impressive to spectate as well. I mean, infamously, right, Rogue, he was able to bring down Clem with his Mass Overseer style and Mass Nidus Worms and Lurker play. It's terrifying for sure. Likewise, his ZVZ is very dynamic as well, but his ZVP is a little bit more samey. It's a little bit more standard. Typically, what Rogues go to in this matchup is the mid game. Rogue, he typically does embrace the mid game, and his win condition is to go Ling Hydra into Lurker tech to stabilize, to get into Lurkers, and then when he does, then he can be active on the map. Then he can harass, go for Nidus Worms, go for drop play, be more aggressive and more assertive. But usually it isn't until he gets into Lurkers until that happens. At least that's typically how Rogue approaches this. We'll keep an eye on his build of choice, and we'll see if he does deviate from that. For now, Hatch Gas Pool. Hatch Gas Pool here by Rogue. Gate expanded to Cybercore by herO, everything looking as it should. Pylon gets placed further back in the main, and we'll see what the initial tech of choice is going to be. I would imagine Stargate once again. There's no reason for herO to really deviate. Oh, never mind. never mind. I was about to say, there's no reason for him to deviate. You know, he did well with the initial standard opener last game. No. Let's go. Twilight Council out of herO. Now, this could be one of two things. This could be Glaive Adepts or a Dark Shrine. Let's go. Now, I mentioned before that here on this map, the rush distance by ground is on the shorter side of things compared to all the other maps out there. So it is shorter, but it is more defendable. What I mean by that is that you do have these choke points coming in towards the 3rd and 4th base. Likewise, there is also a destructible tower that you can knock down. You can knock down this tower, you can fully wall off at the 3rd, and this is designed to at least help you when it comes to 3-base aggression. But what about 2-base aggression? What about a Glaive Adepts, as Glaives are on the way? And we should be getting up to our 4-gate setup. Oh, okay, herO, he does actually have a twist to things here. It is 4-gate Glaives, but this is going to hit a little bit harder, a little bit faster. The reason for this, herO, he's going for the proxy. What does this mean? This means that herO is not wasting money on a Robo or a Warp Prism. There's no Robo, there's no Warp Prism. Getting up to 5, it's a 2-base all-in. Jesus. Again, because he's saving money, because he's not making the Warp Prism, he can throw down extra gateways and make extra Adepts. Oh boy. Again, herO, I mean, this is why he's herO. You know, you don't see Max doing this. You don't see Showtime doing this either. No. herO, he's an animal. For the time being, Rogue, thankfully, safety Roach Warren. This is a sub 4-minute Roach Warren, so very nicely timed, very nice timed Roach Warren, which means he should be able to make Roaches here in the defense. Meanwhile, Rogue, he is not seeing too much across the map. He's coming for the scout, and Rogue, he will soon confirm the aggressive build. But here come the Adepts. The Adepts are already here. Jesus. They're already across the map. The Roach Warren is soon to finish. Adepts, they commit to the shade. Not too many Lings. Yeah, not too many Lings to defend, and as a result, the Ling count it's being chipped away at early on. Lings are falling left and right. That means there's no Lings to chase the shade. He commits into the main. Boys are being pulled. Drones are going down. This is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand already. GG gets called, and herO, he will take a 2-0 lead in the series, catching Rogue completely off guard with the proxy. GG, well played. A very aggressive build here again out of herO. You rarely see the proxy 5-gate 2-base all-in Glaive Adepts. That was crazy. Unfortunately, Rogue, he was setting up for a regular defense, so he was skipping out on Lings early on. He was getting his Roach Warren. Because his Ling count was so low, he was unable to really do much about it. And with that, GG. So now getting into our next game. Here we go. Beautiful. Sorry, we are just setting up. We are going to be setting up here, and we're going to be settling into Amygdala as game 3. Whew. Okay, sorry, just just messaging some of the players, making sure we get everyone involved, and we're all good. We are all good. And yeah, with that, herO, he's 1 game away. Sorry, I was a little bit just distracted by in-game chat. Basically, there was someone that was trying to sneak into the lobby, so I do apologize for being a little bit distracted, but here we go. We're getting into game 3, potentially the final game of the series. I'm hoping it isn't. I'm hoping for a back and forth. You know, I'm giving out my energy here to Rogue. Give us a game 4, give us a game 5. Por favor, papi, give us a longer series. Otherwise, I could just go to sleep. True, I would not be opposed to that, but you know, I would still like to see some more games. Give us some more StarCraft. Let's go. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Weibo Gaming. One game away from becoming this week's KSL champion. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. Here we go. Again, he has to fight back here and now to extend the series and give us a game 4. And we'll see if he can. See if he can. As we're settling into Amygdala now, what I will say about Amygdala, so far out of all the games, out of all the maps that we have casted on in this finals, game 1 was on Whispers of Gold, game 2 was on Ultra Love, game 3 here on Amygdala. This is so far the largest map that we have been able to settle into. Likewise, the most defensive map so far, as well as the 3rd and 4th base. It can be quite difficult to be assertive, to be aggressive, to rotate between them. If we wanted to see the mid game, this is the map for it. Let's go. I'm ready to embrace a longer game state here. At least I'm hoping to, but I feel like my eyes are on herO more than anything. My eyes are going to be on herO. It's one of those things where the rush distance by ground is longer. That is true. The bases are a little bit more defendable as well. But the reality is that if herO decides to go for an aggressive build and set up a proxy pylon, then the rush distance doesn't matter, right? Like, like he just reinforce then and there in your face. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on herO. When it comes to the earlier defense on Ultra Love, it was a shame. It was a shame that Rogue had engaged as early as he did. As I was trying to emphasize at the time, as I was pointing out, when herO did shade into the middle line, it was important that herO was able to pick off Lings early on to make sure that it never really built up, to make sure that herO just overwhelmed. He just overwhelmed Rogue. Again, Rogue, he was not expecting aggression that early on. He did not scout the proxy, did not confirm the build, so Rogue was going for a standard defense when he needed a more exceptional defense. And with that, we're now getting into game 3. We're getting into game 3. As so far, we're getting to our tech of choice. Pylon has been placed. Cybercore is done. And this time, Stargate. Okay, standard opener. It's going to be a Stargate here by herO. I would not be opposed to... Oh. As herO does open up Stalker. Now, with a Stalker opener, herO, he will deny the Overlord, and this does make it look like a more aggressive build, as typically you will not get the Stalker if you're opening up Stargate. You would open up an EPS to harass across the map. So already, Rogue, he's kind of being led down a false path or a false narrative, or at least herO is trying to keep Rogue guessing as to what's going on, as the Overlord Scout is denied. With this, the Oracle is rallied towards the natural. The first unit, I should say. I imagine it should be the Oracle, as we did open up Stalker. And there we go, Oracle's on the way. And we'll see if herO goes for earlier tech here as he expands. So we'll keep an eye on herO. As he's rallied towards the tower, towards the Overlord. Is rallied out. Likewise, the depths are going to be moving out as well. Not too many, but just to secure their position. Ooh, yeah, there we go. As Rogue, he did fall for it. That was a shame. So I don't know if you saw Rogue, he started a Roach Warren. He started a Roach Warren, which tells us that Rogue believed it was not a Stargate. Then the Oracle revealed itself, and then Rogue had to cancel the Roach Warren, started the Evo Chamber instead. And that's already just, again, a nice efficient start, or a more inefficient start from Rogue, as he had to waste resources, kind of deviate his build, his path. Now going into an earlier Evo Chamber, into earlier +1 melee. This should be for Ling Hydra. This should be eventually leading into Lair Tech, into Hydras, into Ling Hydra production, down the road, I should say, down the line. As Double Oracle does hit the 3rd, getting a drone, getting a 2nd drone as well. They do confirm the fast Evo Chamber, they confirm the researching. So herO, he's fully aware of what should be +1 melee. Again, you would not research +1 range this early on, so it should just be melee. Behind this herO, he's expanding. We do have a Gateway Explosion. Gateway Explosion before Techie. Oh, he's crazy! I was gonna say that the gateways they didn't make any sense because there was no Forge and no Twilight Council, and we see why here he's having fun. He cancels the gateways, he throws down a Fleet Beacon, throws down a Stargate, and he's rushing into Sky Toss. Let's go. And Rogue, for the time being, is unaware. Rogue is droning. Rogue is droning up. He's teching. He's defending his main base. 3 drones go down. Lair is on the way. Rogue, he should not be attacking and pushing into this third anytime soon, which means herO should be able to get away with the Sky Toss. Oh boy. Now, what I will say is that what Rogue saw was sus, right? It was very suspect. As I was pointing out at the time, like, it was kind of weird to see gateways but no tech. Like, that's typically not the order you go in. So that might tip Rogue off a little bit. But the reality is that maybe you could argue that maybe he missed the tech. Maybe the tech was thrown down somewhere else. Like, this isn't the first thing that goes to your mind. So I wouldn't blame Rogue if he was none the wiser here. Lings, they do hit the third. No shield battery. Ooh, no shield battery to defend. Sorry, shield battery's further back, I should say. Sentry goes down, Stalker goes down. Meanwhile, herO harassing across the map. They'll save the Oracles. Rogue taking up towards Hive Tech, towards Lurkers. Meanwhile, carriers are on the way. And Rogue is still unaware. For the time being, now he knows. There we go, now he scouts. He does get eyes on Cybercore. He sees it researching. That should be one thing and one thing only. That means +1 air attack is on the way. herO, he recalls back home. Ooh, he will lose one of the Oracles. One Oracle goes down, but alas, herO, he will defend. Will lose 5 probes against 5 drones across the map. The carrier reveals itself. Again, Overseer does confirm. And now Rogue knows. Now Rogue is aware. Now herO, he is switching into ground toss from here. So initially it's going to be 2 up to 4 up to 6 carriers. Then gateway explosion into +1 melee, into +1 attack, into Twilight Council, into a ground-based army. Should be Charge or Archon, but we'll see. As carriers move out, we'll see what herO can get done with them. Again, he cannot afford to lose them. As he moves out, Lings, they move in. Oracles are out of position. No shield battery. Yeah, herO, he's been cutting corners. And no shield battery. Stasis goes off. Carriers, they hit the front lines, but a Spore does target down the carrier itself. Oh, Spore goes down. Back at home, herO, he holds. Carriers are getting to the mineral line. Spore repositioned. 6 drone kills. Nice damage here out of herO. Get 6 workers. Lings, they do slip into the main. Going to the natural even. Probes are going down. Late reaction out of herO. herO, he just left the wall wide open. It's herO. Does respond. That's going to be 5 probe kills. Nice damage here by Rogue. Maintaining his economy. As Rogue even borrows in the mineral line. Do we have a revelation? Not quite. Thankfully, herO, he is at least somewhat aware. There we go. There's a revelation. Now we need another in the main. Jesus. As Ling Harass does continue, once again back into third. And behind this Rogue, he now has a Hive. The Hive is done. He's taking into Ultras. Does he have a Hydroden? I would hope so, but he does not. No Hydrogen, no Spire yet either. Not yet. My guys here defending with slow lots. Charge just now about to finish. Storm is on the way. Carrier production has concluded. But herO, he is up to 6 carriers already. I mean, that is where you want to stop. 6 carriers and then ground toss. I wouldn't be opposed to herO starting up his own mothership. Wouldn't be opposed. As herO, he's now moving out. He has Storm. He has, what, 4 High Templar. Again, the army is terrifying. And Rogue to defend, he's going to be relying on Ultras, on Lings, on Queens, Spores, and Infestors. A very interesting army. We'll see how it all comes together. Neural is research, though. And with some well-placed neurals, rogue, he can actually shut this down. Storms here on the Lings, going for microbial. Let's go. Going for the microbial shroud. Likewise, nice feedbacks here on some of those infestors. Carriers, they're going ham. And the last, the queens, they're well supported here by the recoil shroud. Here come the neurals. Yeah, neurals on the carriers. They're going to be brought forward. Here he has to back up. And these carriers, they should go down. He's going to get one. And then the other. Oof. Yeah, it does fall from 6 down to 4. Here he's going to be reinforced with zealots, but there are plenty of ultras. Plenty of ultras here to defend. And rogue, he has done it. He breaks through the main army, chases herO back. Here he should be losing these carriers as, yeah, one of them goes down. A second carrier goes down as well, so miscontrol out of herO. And with that, he has nothing left. Here he has nothing left on the ground. He was shut down by the ultras. And GG gets called, and rogue, he does it. We will have a longer series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, here just trying to have a little bit too much fun rushing into the sky toss when he did, which I don't think was a bad move, but unfortunately we had some very, I would say, shaky defense from herO post carrier. I'm referring to Ling Rubbis. Ling Rubbis are doing an amazing job at slowing down any kind of move out and also dealing economic damage to just keep herO pinned and allowing rogue to build up into his ultras, into his infestors, into his queens, into his more ideal army. So very well done. You could also argue that upon seeing the army, herO should have maybe been a little bit more conservative. After seeing all those infestors and the setup with the ultras and the queens, I don't think herO should have necessarily committed then and there. You could argue that maybe he just wasn't really set up for a longer game state, so he had to commit. But alas, we saw how that turned out. We saw how that went. In the end, herO did have to, or did commit, and things went south. Things did go south then and there. And with that, GG. GG, well played. We're now getting into game number 4. We have a back and forth. We have a series. And the next game is going to be on King's Cove. Now the question becomes, is herO going to calm things down and go for a much more standard approach? We'll see. We shall see. So we're getting into our next game. Microbial Shroud has its uses. It does have its uses. Specifically, for those who are unaware, Microbial Shroud did recently get buffed. I mean, the buff wasn't applicable there, is what I will say. It wasn't really applicable in that game state, but it does now attach itself to its units and does now follow them a little bit for a couple of seconds. But here we go. We're getting into our next game. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of King's Cove, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Weibo Gaming WBG, leading the series 2-1, one game away from becoming a champion. It is herO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Team Falcons, fighting back, putting a point on the board. Can he tie this up? Can he force the ace match? It is rogue. Here we go. But yeah, when it comes to the outcome of that last game, I do kind of place the blame a little bit more on herO there for committing despite spotting the army, despite seeing what he was pushing into. I mean, he just sent it anyway. Again, I would imagine it was either overconfidence from herO or just not really the desire to really, you know, get a 4th base and play out a longer game from there. And with that, we're now settling into King's Cove. Now, King's Cove is one of the larger maps in the map pool. It's top 3. One of the larger maps. Likewise, very defendable 3-base setup as well, as we have ramps and choke points coming into both the natural and the 3rd, so very easy to defend on 3 bases. The 4th base is a different story. The 4th base is a lot more exposed. The 4th base is a lot more vulnerable, and if we were to see, you know, some more macro mid-game and mid to late game, then this would be the map for it. We didn't really get it in that last game. I mean, I know that we got Hive Tech and we had Ultras and Infestors and Skytoss, but we got there in a much more different way that, again, wasn't really designed to actually macro into a longer game state, into a 4-base economy. Here on King's Cove, we can actually get there. We can actually get to 4 bases, but we'll see if we do. It'll still come down to, I would say, herO when it comes to his build of choice. For now, once again, Stargate opener. Stargate opener out of herO. With this, we'll see if we go for the Oracle. We have yet to go Void Ray in this series. So at this point, I doubt we'll see one. But, I mean, anything is possible at this point, especially with herO getting involved. As Yami gets forced back. Link speed is on the way. Rogue taking his natural. And herO does move out to try to get some scouting information. This time, no Stalkers. We had the initial Adept from herO into a second Adept as well. So more concerned with scouting and getting economic damage. So herO, he does dip in. Shades into the main. Ooh, does avoid this round. Gets up one drone. Nicely done. Gets one worker. Shades away. Likewise, Oracle back at home. So Oracle opener into a third. And we'll see where herO goes from there. We'll see when he throws down his Twilight Council, his Forge. As I mentioned, just because of how large the map is, I would expect, for the first time this series, a standard setup. Fun fact, we have not seen a standard timing of a Forge and Twilight Council this series out of herO. Not at all. We have yet to experience a standard game. Is this it? Here on King's Cove. Do we get there? We'll see. We're almost there. Oh, okay. So far, throwing down the second gateway. It's fine. Meanwhile, Rogue, he is joining, saturating his bases. And we're getting towards the halfway mark here on the third base, which means herO, he's not throwing down his Twilight Council, which means we're going to be delaying it a little bit further, going for a later Twilight Council into Forge into a more standard setup. Let's go! It's happening! Let's go! There it is, Twilight Council out of herO. We should be seeing that Forge. There it is, the Twilight Council and the Forge just as the third base is finishing up. This is a much more standard timing and the setup for +1 Blink Stalkers in towards the mid game. Let's go. So this is kind of the go-to. This is the meta, at least currently in PvZ. And here he's finally doing it. he's finally playing meta in Game 4 of the finals. With this, of course, he can gain map control with his Blink Stalkers, he can saturate his bases, work towards +2, take extra gases, get a fourth base, and tech into his splash damage of choice. Never mind. That's tech into his splash damage of choice. Here he is not going into Blink, he's going for charge instead. Now, with an initial charge opener, this leads into Archon production, into Storm, but typically this means an earlier move out. This means a more committed timing with the rest of that tech, with those upgrades. Okay. Still not all in by any means, but just more aggressive. More aggressive, more assertive. There's the Temple Archives. Into Storm. Gee, that's a gateway explosion. Jesus. As we are setting up for a 7-gate setup here on 3 bases. Stasis is going up, catching out 2 drones. Backup stasis is denied. Getting up to 8 gates, Prism is on the way. Oh, I mentioned before that this doesn't have to be like an all-in or anything too crazy out of herO, but herO, he's committing it that much harder. Again, he's fully walling off here on three bases, getting up to 8 gateways. This tells us that herO most likely is not going to take a 4th anytime soon. Still building up. Producing more Archons, and eventually, soon, herO, he'll move out. Will soon move out, just waiting for that War Prism. War Prism has arrived. Of course, they do threaten the natural. Keeping tabs on Rogue. Rogue just now getting his 4th. Ooh, the 4th base of Rogue is delayed. Rogue, he is going into Roach Hydra. Eva Chamber has been done. +1 range is already done as well. So Roach Hydra out of Rogue. And here comes herO. No Storm. Bear that in mind. There's no storm. Instead, he's going to be relying on a heavy zealot wave of reinforcements. Again, he can warp in 8 zealots at a time. Sorry, 9 zealots at a time. Jesus. So 9 gates. And he's going for it. He's going for the dive. He wants the queens. Can he get them? Zealots, they charge in. Stage trap's going to be going up. Oh, and they barely do go up on drones though, not on the army. God, that was close. That would have been disastrous. As we are running out of zealots, Archons have to back up. Adepts, they shade towards the mineral line. Headed into the natural. And one Archon does go down. So does the other. Massive pickoffs. Rogue is holding. Rogue, he is holding on. If herO would have saved the Archons, then he could go in for another wave. Oh, but the Adepts actually wreaking havoc. Oh my god. 7 drones. 8. 9 drones going down to the Adepts. Very nice damage. Even though the push was a failure here for herO, he didn't get the damage he was hoping for. The Adepts made up for that. The Adepts more than made up for it. Now herO backs off. Now we get a second forge into Storm, into +1 armor, into a 4th expansion. Now, the downside is that the 4th base for herO is quite late. It is quite late, but because of his damage that he dealt, I mean, that makes up for it. But trying to expand and trying to hold on to that 4th base is going to be a difficult task here for herO. Zealot drop into the natural. Rogue, he commits across the map. herO, he attempts to expand. If he does throw down the Nexus, it's going to be denied by the Mass Roach Army. As Roach Army does arrive. And herO is going to be stuck on 3 bases. He's going to try to break out. Rogue, he wants to fight out in the open. herO should be aware of this. As he's pushing into a surround. Roaches, they collapse in. There are some storms. The Roaches, they can tank. Nice surround on the right-hand side. But the Immortals are exposed. One Immortal's going to go down. Yeah, massive pickoff. And herO, he's still contained. And again, basically what we saw earlier was borderline 3 base all in. With those 9 gateways. And with Rogue defending, all Rogue has to do is deny the 4th. Just deny the 4th base over and over again. Just contain herO for as long as possible. And at the same time, Rogue needs to tech. We need to see Infestation Bit, Hive Tech, Lurkers. But Rogue, he's maxing out instead. He's staying on Lair. So Lair Tech max out with Roaches instead. This is risky. This does mean that Rogue, he's maxing out on a subpar army. He can get away with this, but it does kind of give herO a way to come back in this game. Just because Rogue is that much more committed. Stellar run right here towards the natural. Rogue trying to, herO trying to break out. Infestation Bit's on the way to Rogue. Finally, he's thinking about higher tech, droning as well. Now getting up to 70 workers, 72. But again, this saturation is late for Rogue, and the tech is late for Rogue as well. As herO, he breaks out. Rogue setting up for some Dropper Lords. And herO, he's 3 base solid. he's moving out. Behind this, he will try to expand. But herO, he needs to pick up this army. As he moves out, he's out of position. Massive Doom Drop in towards the natural. Does herO go for the base trade, or does he recall back home? What does he go for? He turns around for a moment. Catching out a good amount of Roaches. Turns around with some of his army. And he commits with the other. That's still going to be a tough hold, though. There we go. Zealot reinforcements will defend. herO, he commits, and look at how many High Templar. He has 8 High Templar. He has so many storms available. That is crazy. But pushing up this ramp is still going to be difficult. He rotates instead, headed towards the 4th. And can he knock it down? Has he waited too long? Nice storm. Nice storm on the army. Again, though, this is a very wide open space. herO, he can't push into this. Reinforcements are on the way. Oh, nice storms. Looks like one High Templar goes down. Storms pushing in, zoning back the army. Oh, the Wilds! Oh my god, they didn't quite connect. The storms do. And herO, he's breaking through the defensive line, pushing into the mineral line as well. The storms are brutal. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, the storms are insane. GG gets called. herO, he snowballs out of control with a 3-base all-in, and herO will take the series 3-1, becoming this week's the final KSL champion of 2024. GG. GG, well played. And honestly, initially impressive defense out of herO. I was very impressed with his ability to hold the first wave. Again, herO, he was 3-base all in, and the moment that he lost the Archons, I thought that was a game then and there. But if you remember, herO, he was able to kill 9 drones. 9 drones went down to the Adepterras, and not just that, but if you remember, something that we were a little bit critical of here is that Rogue did not tech up. He did stick with a lair. His infestation was delayed, his droning was delayed, his hive was delayed, and any kind of lurker transition was delayed as well. So instead he chose to max out on Roach Hydra, and that did mean that he could be outscaled by herO, which is what we saw. Like herO with like just a massive immortal storm army just blew through all the roaches and all the hydras. Again, Rogue, he chose not to tech up into lurkers. He tried to end the game instead. He was hoping, basically, Rogue, he was hoping that herO would try to expand. herO didn't. He did not expand. He did not take a 4th base. Instead, he just built up on 3 bases and just committed across the map. GG. GG, well played. herO does take it, and herO is our last champion of 2024. Congratulations, Pappy. Congratulations. GG. GG, well played. Whew. And with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate the support. Likewise, if you want to support the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, you can do so via Patreon. !KSL in the chat. And you'll get a link to the Patreon page so you can help support this event. You can help support the Korean StarCraft League if you wish. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you've had a great end of year. Happy holidays, happy new year as well, as new year is in a couple of days. Here on the CranKy Ducklings, we are going to be casting. Of course, we're going to be casting every single day. All the casting, all the StarCraft. We only had 2 days off this month. That was Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but every other day we have plenty of casting available, and even later on tonight we have some more casting as well. When is our next cast? 6 hours. In 6 hours time, we're going to be live with the Masters Coliseum, day number 2 of Group C. We're going to be featuring players like Maru, players like herO, players like Gumiho, and Lancer as well. So Maru, herO, Gumiho, and Lancer, they're all going to be facing off here tonight in a Masters Coliseum. Again, that is in 6 hours time. So if you are unsatiated, if you want some more StarCraft, we got you covered. I am going to go and get some sleep. I'm going to go have a nap. I'm going to get as much rest as possible so I can wake up well rested for Masters Coliseum. That is the plan. That is the plan tonight. So here we go. Alas, tomorrow as well, so if you can't tune in 6 hours, tomorrow we're going to be live with Master Swan Open. That is our own amateur tournament, the final Master Swan Open of the year as well. So do tune into that if you are curious, if you are interested in some more amateur StarCraft. We got you covered. On Monday, we have the Wardy TV Monday, we have the Bigger Star Monday on Tuesday, we have the Duckling Showdown on Christmas Eve. Let's go! And we also have some replay coverage over the course of the week as well. I'm still on the fence, but yeah, may as well. Over the next couple of days, New Year's Day, as well as the 2nd of January, we're going to be going over some replays of Home Story Cup that we did miss out on live, so we'll be able to catch up with it then and there. Let's go. And we also have the beginning of Leo League Cup. Leo League Cup is going to be, the qualifiers are going to be this week as well, on the 2nd of January, on the 3rd of January, and on the 29th of December as well. So plenty of content, plenty of casting, plenty of StarCraft is still to come. And if you enjoyed the cast, check us out here on the CranKy Ducklings. Check us out. I do apologize for being a little bit out of it here today. Again, I'm very tired. I didn't sleep well. I haven't slept well in a while, actually. I'll try to recover. I'll do my best. I'll try to recover, try and get some sleep, and get well rested for tonight. Otherwise, thanks for watching. If you want to help support us, you can do so by following us on all the social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings. It is available if you so wish to join us over on the CranKy Ducklings. Again, we post whenever we go live, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. We do post VODs on YouTube on a daily basis, so plenty of VODs, plenty of content on YouTube if you wish. Likewise, we also stream on Facebook, we stream on TikTok, and we stream on Kick as well as YouTube and Twitch. So we're streaming all over the place, all things CranKy Ducklings. Check us out if you wish. Otherwise, GG. Who's surprised at TOS 1? If you missed it earlier, herO, he has won the most amount of KSLs, period. Like, he was the favorite player. He was the favorite player coming into this tournament. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. It's crazy. Enjoy your... thank you. Thank you. I will sleep as much as I can. Much as I can. But yeah, with that, thanks for watching, thanks for the support. Stick around, we're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid, and with that, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, sorry, we'll see you guys in 6 hours. See you guys in 6 hours. Until then, thanks for watching. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.